In this video, you will see material that may be considered inappropriate or sensitive for you, and therefore discretion is advised. We start in Antarctica, where we are with a helicopter that is chasing a dog while shooting at it, doing this for quite some time until they reach a National Science Institute of the USA. All this while chasing the dog. Some people from that institute come out and realize that those arriving in the helicopter are Norwegians. The Norwegians land, and one of them pulls out a grenade to throw at the dog, but it slips from his hand and ends up exploding, taking him and their helicopter with it. One of the Norwegians survives and starts shooting at the dog, but accidentally hits one of the Americans. From a window, an American shoots the Norwegian and hits him with reverent headshot. For now, we do not know why the Norwegians were chasing the dog. In the end, the Americans go back inside and keep the dog for themselves. We see that the dog was roaming around the entire station. Two of the Americans decided to go out flying to see if they could find more Norwegians and arrive at a station that appears to be abandoned. In that station, they find a frozen corpse, but with its throat cut. Before leaving that abandoned station, they find what appears to be a tub, but made entirely of ice. Upon leaving the station, they find a pile of corpses, some burned and others that appear to be deformed. YxT, the boys return to the station and bring with them a disfigured corpse that appears to have two faces. The scientists at the station begin to study the corpse. They open it and remove all the organs, and everything is going well for now. Now, after a long time, they put the Norwegian dog into the cage of the American dogs, and we see that the dog behaves a little strangely. The other dogs start barking, and we see how the Norwegian dog begins to turn into the thing. YxT, that mother starts growing legs. That thing looks really ugly. One of the Americans goes to see why the dogs are barking so much. When he opens the cage, all the dogs rush out, and the American sees the creature, so he closes the gate and goes for help. Help arrives, and look at what that mother has turned into. They start shooting at it, but the bullets do nothing, so they bring in a flamethrower and set that thing on fire. After setting that thing on fire, they take it for examination. When they open it and investigate, they realize that it can become whatever it wants. When the Americans were burning that thing tried to become a dog, but it couldn't. It didn't complete the transformation. Now they realized that the dog had been wandering around the station all day and was not put in the kennel until night. In other words, that thing already knows the station and can become one of them at any moment. The Americans start to watch some tapes they found at the Norwegian station. There, they realize that beyond the Norwegian station, there is something they were searching for, and they go to see what it is. When they arrive, they come across a spaceship. The guys take samples from the spaceship and return to their station. The boys start to say that the alien was probably frozen and the Norwegians thawed it out. All of this is speculation. It is still unknown how it can transform into other beings. The scientist begins to investigate this and realizes that if that thing can indeed copy the cells of a living being, and not only that, there are probably members of the station infected. Right now, the probability is 75%. The computer tells the scientist that that thing cannot have contact with civilization. We are with two Americans who were fixing some things. One of them is looking at the corpse they brought from the Norwegian station. He places a sheet over it, and we see that thing start to move. The boy goes out and leaves his companion there alone with that thing. When he returns, his companion is wrapped up in that thing. The boy runs out looking for help, and when help arrives, his friend is no longer there. They peek out the window and see that their friend is running. They go after him, and when they get closer, they realize that it is not their friend, but that thing that transformed into their friend. The group proceeds to set it on fire after realizing that this thing is alive. When it seems to be dead, the boys decide to set fire to all the corpses they had. The whole group is inside. The scientist has gone crazy, as no one trusts anyone anymore, and no one knows who is who. Now the guys gather USAN and have a plan to find out who is human and who is not, and it involves a blood test. The idea is to take blood samples from each one and mix them with uncontaminated blood. If there is any kind of reaction, it is already known that it is alien. They are going to look for uncontaminated blood that they had stored. But when they arrive, they realize that someone was there and got rid of the uncontaminated blood so that they wouldn't conduct the tests. The problem is that there are only two people who have access to that place, and neither of them has been there. Supposedly, one of the guys becomes paranoid and runs off to look for a weapon. The others follow him, talk to him, and manage to calm him down. Now they just want to find out who got rid of the blood. The electricity had gone out. At the station, two of the guys went to investigate why only one returned, and sometime later the other one came back. They started to distrust the one who returned, as they didn't believe he would come back alive. Two boys try to grab him from behind, and he pushes one of them, causing him to hit his head and become unconscious. The group takes it away to try to revive it. While they are trying to revive it, that mother's stomach opens up and breaks the arms of the one who was reviving it. That thing starts to transform and the boys set it on fire. However, we see how the head begins to detach. The head grows legs and we see how it walks behind the boys. They realize it and also set fire to its head. Now the remaining boys are gathered. Mac has an idea, and it is to tie them all up to take blood samples and conduct tests. The boys don't want to, but Mac tells them that if they don't, he will shoot them. One of them tries to hit Mac, but he strikes back. Reverend Headshot now has all the boys tied up and takes a blood sample from them. The fact is that the monster reacts to heat. The idea is to subject the blood to something hot to see how it reacts. If it has any kind of strange reaction, then it is already known that it is not human. They start testing the blood of each and every one of them, until they reach Palmer's blood. They put the hot thing on him and we see how the blood splatters. Now Palmer starts to turn into that thing. After transforming, that mother goes wild, is in front of one of the guys, and bites his head. Everyone else is shouting for them to set it on fire, but the flamethrower is not working. After that thing has already killed one of the boys, the flamethrower finally works, and they proceed to set it on fire. We see how that thing comes out ablaze and ends up dying outside. If you are watching this part of the video, please like, comment so that YouTube recommends the video to more people. And if you are new, I invite you to subscribe by activating the notification bell. Now let's continue. The boy who was bitten is still alive, but he is transforming, so they also proceed to set him on fire. They finish testing the remaining kids and realize that those who are there for now are humans. The boys are going to visit the scientist who had gone crazy before, but when they arrive at the place, they no longer find him there. They notice that the boards underneath are loose, so they move them and find a cave. They enter the cave and start walking for a while, and they come across a spaceship under construction. The boys were looking for that thing, but they realize that the electricity for the entire station is gone. There they discover that the plan of that thing is to take away all sources of heat they have, so that everyone freezes and thus be thawed in the future, just as the Norwegians thawed it. But the boys also have a plan, and that is to blow up the entire station. They start by blowing up the place where the spaceship was. Then the guys begin to blow up the other parts of the station. And finally, they reach the location where the generator was. The boys start filling the place with bombs. One of them was walking around planting bombs. When the scientist appears behind him, he grabs him by the face and starts stretching his face. Then that thing begins to lift the entire ground. Usend is with Mac, who starts asking his friends how they are doing, but he doesn't get any answers. He turns around and notices something strange in the background. Then that thing starts to lift the ground. That thing is already transformed. Mac grabs an explosive and throws it, causing that thing to explode into 1,000 pieces along with the station. After blowing everything up, only two boys were left alive, and both are going to stay there to freeze to death. And so ends part 1. Let's move on to part 2. In the second part, we start with a group of 3 boys who are exploring the area. One of them has a machine to capture sounds from the ground. At one point, he picks up a sound that is too loud and tells his companions to stop the car. Just as they stop, the ice beneath them cracks open, causing them to fall, but they get stuck halfway in the ice. The only thing they can see at the bottom is a kind of ship or something like that. Now we are with this girl. She is a paleontologist named Kate, and she is examining the corpse of an animal when this guy arrives and tells her that he needs her help. It turns out that a friend of this guy has a geological station in Antarctica and needs the assistance of a paleontologist because they found something that needs to be examined. For now, they don't say what it is. The only thing they tell her is that it is something out of the ordinary. So she agrees, and they are going to fly to Antarctica. The group arrives in Antarctica. While there, they show what they found, and we see a spaceship, but a giant one. And not only that, the spaceship had a survivor, who we see has frozen, and the team plans to get him out of there. They have already taken out that thing, and we see that they have the giant block at the station. Now they are thinking about transporting it. But of course, there's always the stubborn one, and the guy who asked Kate for help wants a sample of that thing, meaning he wants to open the ice a bit to take a sample of that thing. Kate warns him, telling him that it is not appropriate, that they shouldn't do it, but he will do it anyway. With a drill, they proceed to make a hole in the ice until they reach that thing. They have now obtained the sample, and the guy is happy. All the guys are going to celebrate, as they have the find of the century, and will probably make a lot of money from it. While the other boys are celebrating, this boy decides to go out to see the ice block. While he was watching it, someone scares him from behind. Now the boy is about to leave that place. Then that mother broke the ice block and also the roof. The boy runs to the others to tell them that that thing has escaped. At first no one believes him, but seeing that the guy is agitated, everyone runs to see if it's true. When they arrive, there is indeed no alien left. The best idea the group can come up with is to go out and search for that thing in the middle of the night. They spend a long time searching for that thing until they find it under one of the cabins. But that creature attacks and impales one of the boys, taking him with it. The others arrive and start shooting at it, but the bullets don't do much. The group decides to set the entire cabin on fire. They gather and begin to discuss that they should destroy that thing, but obviously it is still there. The stubborn one says they should capture it to study it. The boys have that well-roasted thing and decide to open it to study it a little more. When they open it, they realize that the companion that thing swallowed is still there. The guy's corpse looks as if that thing is absorbing him. We are with Kate. She took a sample from the friend that thing swallowed to really see what he was doing with that thing. While watching the sample, he realizes that the cells of that thing are not dead. And not only that, they are merging with his friend's cells, meaning that thing was imitating the cells of the guy it swallowed. There is another boy who was injured by that thing, and they are going to take him away in the helicopter. But before they get on, Kate notices that one of them is acting quite strangely. She doesn't pay much attention to it and goes to the bathroom. On the floor, he notices some teeth, and in the bathtub, he notices that there is a lot of blood. She runs out to prevent the helicopter from leaving. They manage to see her but do not pay attention, deciding to continue on their way. The boy who was attacked by that thing is quite nervous, and his friend is trying to calm him down. Now something happens that I didn't expect. The friend starts to transform. That mother attacks the boy, and from below we see how the helicopter is going out of control, ultimately crashing into a mountain. The group is gathered, wondering what could have happened to the helicopter, as none of them suspect anything. We are with Kate. She went back to the bathroom and realizes that there are no more bloodstains. Kate explains to the whole group what we already know, that that thing can become any one of them. They obviously do not believe anything she says. Kate continues explaining everything to the group, but they are not paying attention to her. Now this girl approaches her. She tells Kate that she saw someone come out of the shower, and then tells her that they have to prevent everyone from leaving, and to do that, they need to hide the car keys. The girls go together to look for the car keys. Kate is already grabbing them, but she feels that something is wrong. Behind her, we see the girl starting to transform. That mother starts chasing Kate all over the place. As Kate runs, she bumps into this guy and tells him to run, but he doesn't, and that mother impales him with her claws. One of the guys arrives with a flamethrower and proceeds to set it on fire. That creature goes to some showers to try to put itself out, but they come back and set it on fire again. The guys are going to be quarantined to exterminate that thing. They need to find out who that thing is. Now we are with Kate and two other people. They were blocking the vehicle so that no one could escape. Just as they were about to return to the station, they see two more people approaching. They are the ones who were in the helicopter that crashed. It is unknown how they survived. They decided not to kill them, but they will still keep them away. Something Kate discovered is that that thing cannot imitate inorganic material. All of them have fillings in their teeth, and that is an inorganic material. So if any of them do not have the fillings, then they are not human. Kate starts to check everyone's mouth. Some allowed her to check their mouths, but these four did not let her check their mouths. Now they sent to attract the two who crashed in the helicopter for a checkup. Two boys also go to look for them, but when they arrive, they are no longer where they left them. One of the two boys who went out to look for them goes to another cabin, and when he enters, we see something pull him. The one who survived from those who went to look for him returns with the others and starts telling them that his friend has disappeared. Everyone starts to argue because they want to go look for it, but they begin to hear banging sounds. They go to see what it is and find the two survivors from the helicopter. They are suspicious of them, so they prepare to attack with a flamethrower, but the survivors respond by shooting at them. One of the boys that he sees injured is being taken to be treated. But while they are carrying him, we see how his arm starts to detach. That guy is the thing. That arm gets stuck to Jonas and starts moving towards his face. Instead of helping him, the group just watches. Jonas screams for help but no one assists him. 2001. In the end, the arm ends up sticking to his mouth and begins to absorb him. That thing transforms and starts attacking the whole group, and the flamethrowers are not working. We see how that thing starts to transform little by little. Then it climbs on top of one of the boys and begins to merge with him. After 4 team members died, they finally got the flamethrowers to work, and they started burning the affected. But that thing managed to escape. Kate is with Sam, one of the survivors, and they are hunting that thing. That creature appears out of nowhere and starts chasing Sam. He manages to hide, but that thing finds him just as it was about to attack. Kate comes out with the flamethrower and sets it on fire, which is enough for it to crawl outside, and Kate continues to set it on fire until she finally kills it. When they finally dealt with that, they see Xander escape in a car and go to chase him. Yusand arrives at the place where the UFO is and starts looking for Xander. While Kate was looking for it, that thing appears behind her. She runs away and tries to hide, but that thing grabs her by the feet and starts dragging her. When that mother was about to swallow her, Kate throws an explosive straight into its mouth, and now that thing goes kaboom literally. Finally, we see Kate and Sam about to leave in the car. But at the last moment, Kate realizes that Sam is not Sam. He is one of those things, so she proceeds to set him on fire. In the post-credit scene, we see a person arriving at the station in a helicopter, and there appears Lars, who is supposed to have disappeared when they went out to search for the 2 survivors. While Lars was talking to the person in the helicopter, he saw a dog running out and it started shooting at him. Now in the helicopter, they start to follow it while shooting at it, which is what we saw in the first part of the movie. If you made it to this part of the video, it's because you really liked it. So leave me a comment so that YouTube recommends the video, give it a like, subscribe by activating the bell, and don't forget to brush your teeth before going to bed.